today's paper.
This is Terry Cringle, and today's paper is the Isle of Man Examiner of Friday, August the 2nd, 1946, price twopence halfpenny, 2.5 old pence. The Second World War has been over for a year, but the people of Britain and the Isle of Man still have food rationing, and the rationing of other commodities like petrol. And in the front page there's a story saying that bread rationing has just started, a new trial for a war-weary people. Bread, the staff of life, and you have to have enough coupons to buy a loaf. Hard to imagine today. Also, in page 2, there's an advertisement saying that the production of Ricardo crisps in the Isle of Man, I think they were made in Port Erin, has had to cease because of an acute shortage of cooking oil. Hard times indeed. There's a court story which tells us something of what car parking was like in 1946. Charged before the High Bailiff is Harold Colburn, later to become a colourful and ever newsworthy member of the House of Keys, who is alleged to have caused an obstruction by parking right outside his radio and electrical goods shop in Victoria Street. It's a test case, and Mr. Colburn is arguing that he has a right to park outside his own business premises. The police are saying that he can't, because his shop is on a very busy street. The High Bailiff steers a middle course in dismissing the case. He says Mr. Colburn does have a right to park outside his shop, but not for so long that he becomes guilty of unreasonable use of the highway. In page 4 there's a feature on the open-air church service at Braddon, which used to be one of the most popular events in the holiday season. There had been 16,000 people there the previous Sunday, the most since 1939. Canon W.A. Rushworth, spiritual leader of the services, tells the Examiner that the congregations are less boisterous and more reverent than they were in 1939, most certainly due to the subduing effects of the war. When we read on into today's paper, the Isle of Man Examiner of August 2nd, 1946, we learn that the Home Secretary, the Right Honourable Chuter Eade, is coming to the island. He is to reopen Ballacameen School, which has been requisitioned by the Royal Navy throughout the war years, but is now ready to take Manx pupils. There are also some Lancashire and Cheshire county cricketers coming over for a match tour against island sides. They will include the great Leary Constantine of the West Indies. The paper is packed with advertisements for all the summer entertainments and other attractions going on in the island and especially in Douglas. Joe Lossendy's orchestra are at the Villa Marina with band singers Pat McCormack, Elizabeth Beatty and Howard Jones. Some people may remember that the dashing and handsome Howard Jones married a Manx girl. Their son and daughter still live in the island. In the Palace Ballroom there's Joseph Muscant and his band of BBC fame, and at the Palais de Danse there is Ralph Fiddler, appropriate name, and his Strict Tempo band. There are also the summer shows at the Palace Coliseum and the Variety Theatre at Derby Castle, and at the Gaiety. And in 1946 at the Gaiety we read that Tom Arnold presents Happy Drome, adapted from the popular BBC show programme, with Harry Corris as Mr. Lovejoy, Robbie Vincent as Enoch, and Cecil Frederick as Mr. Ramsbottom. I'm virtually certain that I went to see the show, one of the many reminders of the way things were in the summertime in Douglas, in today's paper, which has been the Isle of Man Examiner of Friday, August the 2nd, 1946.
Today's paper.